martial arts. How do we like our martial arts? We like them in the fabulous city of Baku.
Yes. Yes, indeed. It's the first time the UFC has been in such a place, and from all the people that I've spoken to, fighters, some managers, a couple of coaches, Baku is a beautiful place, and the fans are just fired up for the UFC's debut in Azerbaijan. And there you see the two men who will close the show. Big one at 205 pounds, former champion Jamahal Hill taking on recent title challenger Khalil Rountree. As we welcome you to the UFC Baku preview show here on MMAfighting.com. I am Mike Heck, and joining me to discuss the UFC's debut in Baku, the one and only Jed Meshew. There was a lot of rhyming there. I didn't even mean for that to happen, but it just kind of worked out that way. How are you, sir?
I'm great because the horns are playing and it's time to get after it. You know, UFC Atlanta was a bit of a snoozer. We've talked about that. I was there, so I'm sad that it wasn't as fun as it could have been. This card looks better on paper to me. We got 3 Azerbaijanis fighting. I honestly didn't know that the UFC had that many Azerbaijanis. I guess technically they didn't. Tafik Musayev, a recent acquisition. Main and co-main event, really, really good fight. So I am tentatively pretty pumped for this weekend. And most importantly, early MMA, Mike. Early MMA, the most beautiful words in the English language.
Early day MMA, 12 fights. We're not talking about 15 of them. Nice, safe 12 fights right there. And I agree with you. I like this card a lot. I like it better on paper than I liked UFC Atlanta. I like it better on paper than a lot of fight night cards we have got this year, in or out of the Apex. So how are we grading this one, Jed? I assume we're on the FART scale, but it's got to be pretty high compared to most of these, are they not?
It's a very solid FART scale here. I can't remember, honestly, off the top of my head, what Atlanta was. It was pretty low. Atlanta was like a 3 or something. This is we're 5, maybe 6 here. Depends how generous you want to get. Main and co-main event, those are clearly above replacement level fights. Even the feature bout, I know that it's heavyweights. Your mileage is going to vary, but that is a significant heavyweight bout. That's above replacement. Tafik Musayev, Miktabek Oral by Stone Cold Banger. Like, very excited about what that's going to be. Naimov Grad is going to be fun. I don't know, that's probably a replacement level fight. That's just fun. But, you're getting the Tegir Ulanbekov as that Maxim fight. I know that's not quite as good as Kyoji, though honestly it makes more sense than Kyoji. That's a banger. A couple of other things that are good here. Some low spots, right? But they're doing important things. And Mike, let me make a supplication to PFL. You know PFL, I know PFL. Look at me, rocking the PFL shirt right now. We know they watch us. We know that this year, Double D, Don Davis, has decided to start taking some of our advice. Don, my guy, do this. This is what you do. When you have a fighter like Logan Storley, you don't put him on at midnight. When you have a Hamdi Abdel Wahab and a Mo Usman, that's the first fight of the evening. That's the fight that people will miss as they're filing into their seats. Or, oh, I forgot it's an early start time. Let me flip on over. Oh, I missed it. No harm, no foul. Nobody gives a shit. I didn't fall asleep watching this fight. This is how you minimize the damage of fighters like Logan Storley, as opposed to putting them on at midnight on a Thursday.
Yes. Maybe PFL can do what WWE still does, do a dark match where you just put the fight out there. The fans in the building get there early, get to watch it. And you're just using that fight to test the volume, test all the production levels, but it's not being broadcast to anybody actually watching it. That's the fight that you sort of test all the equipment with before you go live. I think we're on to something here, Jed. Logan Storley in a dark match. If Mo Usman and Hamdi Abdul-Wahab want to be the dark match too, I'm fine with that as well.
Perfect curtain jerk. This is how you jerk the curtain. Sure, if it's something like 300 where you want to be, full tilt right from the get-go, this would be terrible. But this fight wouldn't exist on a 300 anyway. This fight, no. Perfect placement. I probably won't watch it, but maybe I will, and if I miss it, I won't be sad. It's great. This is how we do it. So Don, this is your latest thing to take from me. You've been taking all my ideas. I'm happy for you to take them. I offer them freely. I also offer my paid services if you want even better ideas. But do this. Usually don't be like the UFC. In this instance, be more like the UFC.
I love this so much. We're gonna get the scorecards in that heavyweight fight. There's no doubt about it. Over 2.5 things
really
like minus
likely.
275 or something crazy like that for a heavyweight fight. That's hilarious.
Genuinely, Mike. So peel back the curtain a little bit. There is no climb this week for the No Bet Smart journey. We're not climbing this week. If it was going to, I had a long talk with a couple of people. I think the climb bet should be the over 1.5 here, which earlier this week was like -5 something. But then I was like, I couldn't. One, I actually may just miss this fight from a scheduling perspective. So I really don't want to climb blind. Like I want to be able to see the climb and feel the emotions if I'm going to die on it, right? And two, I'm 19 steps up the mountain, Mike. 19 up. And if I faltered because Hamdi Abdel Wahab and all of his juicy glory finished Mo Usman in the first 60 seconds, I could never live with it. So I had to pass, but this thing's definitely going to the cards.
Oh yeah. And I completely agree with that move. And that's very smart on your part. But enough about the first fight. Let's talk about the last fight. We got Jamahal Hill, 2-fight stoppage loss streak. He's been knocked out in 2 straight fights by Alex Pereira and most recently Yuri Prochazka taking on Khalil Rountree, who makes his first appearance since getting stopped by Alex Pereira in one of the most wild fights of 2024. Khalil Rountree got a lot of fanfare, got a lot of praise, still continues to do so. And this seems like it was the fight to make all along. They were supposed to fight at UFC 303, then they were supposed to headline UFC Kansas City, and now we're here in Baku, which is kind of like the most random place to host a fight like this. But honestly, it's just such a good fight. I'm very excited that we're 24 hours away, Jed Meshew. So the first question I'm going to ask you here is literally the headline of this preview show right now, because Jamahal Hill, always confident, always says things that makes headlines. Seems like he's toned things down a touch, but ramped them back up for Khalil Rountree. And ever since UFC 307 came to an end, all Jamahal Hill has said in every interview he has done, almost every tweet he has done, any podcast that he has done, that he is levels above Khalil Rountree, that this fight is not even going to be competitive. Khalil is just a guy with grit, heart, and determination that hits kind of hard. But in terms of being a mixed martial artist, on paper, this one isn't even close. Is this do or die for Jamahal Hill in regards to his championship aspirations, a chance to regain the belt? Because one has to imagine if he loses this fight, he's getting slept, and that's 3 straight knockout losses for a guy who was champion, and the timing, lightning was in the bottle at that right point for him. But if he goes out there and gets knocked out by Khalil Rountree, is he done in terms of trying to be a champion again?
Probably, right? Like, you never want to say never at 205, because 205, I mean, outside of just being a terrible division where anything can happen, like we've just seen it, right? Like if you had told me 10 years ago Jan Blachowicz and Glover Teixeira would be UFC champions, I would have laughed in your face. I mean, like, that is absolutely ludicrous. And yet that's the world we live in, right? Like both of those men ended up winning the belt. So you can't totally discount it. But you can, like, this is, you know what this is, Mike? This is those, the Clorox, the Lysol. They legally can't say kills 100% of germs. It's 99.99%. And that's what we've got here. If Jamahal Hill loses, it's 99.9% that he is never getting back to the belt. Because, like, 3 in a row, he's not that young. He's 34. And I know you can get a little more mileage at light heavyweight than others, but that's still, like, a little older. 3 losses in a row, just well back of the title hunt. It's unlikely. And you said something that I do just want to point out. And I know you know this, but I want to point out to those who don't know this. When Jamahal Hill says stuff like, I'm levels above, it's a professional fighter. You should feel that way. He said the exact same things to Alex Pereira. That didn't really work out all that well. Said the exact same things to Yuri Prochazka. that didn't really work out all that well. Maybe it works out this time, but like, you got to find a new angle, right? You can't just be like, I'm better than everybody. Oops, I keep getting knocked out. That's the little boy who cried, I'm better than you going on right now. So he has put the onus on him. We credited him for that at 300, right? To build that fight, make it big by sort of talking this talk. I didn't like how he handled it afterwards. No secret about that. But credit to him that he keeps going to this, but he might need to find a new well to draw water from if every time he does it, he then just gets boomed. Because he's like, if he loses, like you said, it's the boomstick is dropping.
Yeah, and I think he took sort of a beating on social media and throughout the media for how he handled the Alex Pereira loss. And I think he learned his lesson a little bit. Like, he still talked a little trash about Yuri and then he got. But on top of that, the Yuri fight rocked. That fight was incredibly fun. I've gone back and rewatched it this week and I remember it being fun, but didn't realize like how fun it actually was until I rewatched it. It was so good. And
fight. He's never not in a fun fight, man.
But even Jamahal, like,
adult son.
You saw improvements Jamahal made, and then he kind of went back to old Jamahal in round 3 and started getting dropped. And then from that point, he just kind of realized he couldn't come back. So you could tell he's like trying to improve and he's making like these tweaks to his game that lead people to believe like, oh, when this guy came up, he's really, really good. But there's still like there's some question marks here if he's going to beat the elite strikers of this game. And then we have Khalil Rountree, who, he got beat up real bad by Alex Pereira. And I know he gained a lot of traction from that, but you mentioned Jamahal Hill is 34. I believe Khalil Rountree is 35. And taking a beating like that at 35 compared to 25, it ain't the same thing. So when you think about the attributes that these guys bring to the table, Jed, what's the biggest question you have about this fight?
I just have like a lot of questions, and they're almost entirely centered around Jamahal Hill because like Jamahal Hill has talked a lot that he can grapple, and we've seen a little bit that's not entirely unfounded. Standing with Khalil Rountree is obviously the harder way to go about business. Will he shoot takedowns, right? Like, will he try and mix the martial arts in a matchup that's probably beneficial to him? I think if I just have to pick one, though, the biggest question is, how's Jamahal Hill's chin hold up? Because it's not like he has a weak chin, right? Like getting knocked out by Yuri and getting knocked out by Alex, there's no shame in that. Those men hit very, very hard, right? And he took a lot of good shots from Yuri before finally succumbing. But again, a little older, been knocked out 2 in a row. We know Khalil Rountree, he cracks, right? Like he rips. And does the chin just start fading? Because the way he fights, he's never been like this incredible defensive fighter. He just has pretty good timing, and he also carries a big stick himself. And so that worked for a lot of things. And then the Glover Teixeira fight was just so different and so much better than any other performance he's ever had in his career. Like, it is a total outlier in a way I can't understand or reckon with. Can he ever get back to that? And can he not? Because Glover at that point was real old, didn't really present a ton of offensive resistance in the striking game. And so he could just feel free to bang. Whereas against guys who can crack, that's a little more dangerous. Because if that's the case, Khalil is a really tough out for him. And so all my questions center around Jamahal Hill. And that's probably not fair to him, frankly. Like, I should have more concerns about Khalil Rountree, but I think I just know who Khalil is, right? Like, I don't think the Alex fight will have lessened or greatered him. Like, he should just be the same Khalil we've been seeing. And the question for me is, what kind of Jamahal Hill? Because sometimes he shows up and looks like one of the best guys alive, and sometimes he gets booped by Alex immediately.
Yeah. I didn't even realize this. This includes the Glover Teixeira fight. 0 takedown attempts in Jamahal Hill's UFC career. And to nobody's surprise, 0 takedown attempts in the career of Khalil Rountree in the UFC.
That's
so
right. He's
one
due,
of these guys,
they
both are. They both are. My biggest question is,
the UFC BJJ debut secretly actually ties in with the main event. They're about to grapple for 25.
Oh yeah. I'm curious to see if Jamahal Hill can get inside. Can he clinch Khalil Rountree? Can he get in close? Because this fight might go to the ground. It might be like some slippage moments. I don't think Jamal's gonna be shooting singles and double legs in this fight. But the big question for me is, can Jamal Hill get inside? Can he clinch with Khalil Rountree against the fence? Can he punish him on the inside? Because if he can't, Jed Meshew, he is going to get beat up in this fight. Honestly, there is a very real chance that Jamal Hill just gets wiped off the face of the octagon planet tomorrow night if he cannot get close to Khalil Rountree. However, if he gets inside and starts throwing those little short uppercuts, those nasty little hooks inside, kind of gets Mike Tyson-y in this sort of situation, I think he's got a shot here. But if this is this is a kickboxing match, he is in trouble. Even though he's a very powerful guy, even though he's in great shape, even though he's got great knockouts, Khalil will eat you alive in the outside unless your name is Alex Pereira. So those are my biggest questions. And then, Jed, just kind of on the flip side, we talked about do or die for Jamal Hill. For just the winner of this fight in general, with light heavyweight being so strange and being so weird, and your idea of Alex Pereira perhaps fighting Tom Aspinall for the undisputed UFC heavyweight title could be coming to fruition. Alex Pereira weighing in at about 245 right now. So perhaps he's preparing for that. Doesn't seem like he's got any interest, nor do any of the fans, honestly, have any interest in seeing.
No one cares.
Yeah, no one wants to see him rematch Magomed Ankalaev at this point. They want to see Alex in different kinds of challenges, different types of scenarios. So because of where this division is right now, could the winner of this fight get a title shot, Jed? Is that possible?
No, that's not really possible, I don't think. I mean, Yuri just is the inside track if Alex bails. And the winner of this could be right in position, right? Like the winner of this could maybe even be a backup fighter, though I think that's also fairly unlikely. I know Carlos Ulberg didn't win hearts and minds with his last performance, but he's on a hell of a run right now. I would say the winner of this is one away, right? Like you win this, and even though you lost 2 in a row and you're Jamal Hill, you win this, you're one away. If Khalil wins this, people really like the Alex fight. Maybe if Alex loses to Magomed Ankalaev, says, I'm going to stick around 205, maybe they just say, hey, let's run that back. That's kind of fun. Like he could get a big fight like that with a win. But either way, I think the winner, just because light heavyweight is so dire right now, and both of them they got some cachet, right? Like there's a former champion. Khalil Rountree is the guy who gave Alex his toughest fight before he ended up losing to Magomed. I think the winner's one away, and that's really what's at stake here, to fight for a title eliminator.
I think they get a real chance here because Yuri's been pretty open and honest about what he's doing with his life right now. He doesn't seem like he wants to fight right this second. It seems like he just wants to do the college thing and get the education done, and he's willing to get that done before he fights. So if they want to get Magomed in there in the fall or maybe by Abu Dhabi and Yuri ain't ready to go, the winner of this fight could absolutely get a phone call, because I don't think this one's going to the cards. Whoever wins is probably going to win in spectacular fashion. It's going to be a nasty knockout of some variety. I think Khalil probably has a better chance because he did go hammer and tongs with Pereira for 20 or so minutes. People love that fight. He's on a better run right now. And Jamal Hill just lost to Yuri Prochazka. So it's not going to, it won't go down as well if Jamal gets a title fight over Yuri. But if Khalil gets it and it's explained in such a way, I think the fans just kind of look at Khalil a little bit differently. He's not a big trash talker. So I think Khalil's got a better chance, but it would not shock me if Jamal gets it as well. So lots at stake here, in my opinion, in this fight, and it's going to be a good one. So time for picks right now, according to our friends at DraftKings, or not DraftKings, FanDuel, Jed.
Wow.
It is a pick of like literally a coin flip. Minus 110 across the board.
That much money's come down? Damn.
Yeah, it's minus 110 Jamal Hill, minus 110 Khalil Rountree. It is a literal flip of the coin. At least in my eyes, from a betting perspective, I think Khalil Rountree at like minus 125 where it started this week was pretty good value. But now you're getting him at pretty much even money. Seems like the right call, but I don't know. How are you looking at this from a betting perspective, and what is your prediction for this fight?
This is one of those where I'm cautious because I feel so confident in it, right? Like I'm not so confident that I'd bet my life, but I'm so confident that I'm scared that I'm just completely missing something. Because earlier this week, I mean, you could have found Khalil Rountree at a fairly big price, like minus 150 in spots, like he's up there and the money has apparently steadily come in on Jamahal Hill. I think Khalil Rountree's going to kick the shit out of Jamahal Hill. Like I thought it since this fight was announced. Again, I'm afraid that I'm wrong, that I'm just like not giving Jamahal his due. But I've been saying this about Jamahal for a while. I was impressed with the Yuri fight and that he showed some stuff. He showed toughness. He showed a grit to him that I wasn't really certain was part of his game. But I've said this in the lead up to UFC 300, right? Like maybe Jamahal Hill is the second coming. But I watched Jamahal Hill fight and was roundly unimpressed other than the Glover fight. And I'm always really, really cautious when a dude who is like good but doesn't really jump off the page as incredible has one incredible performance. Because then it's like, well, maybe he was just batting 1,000 that night. Glover had an off night and he was, hearing Jimmy. And the more his career has gone on, that's looked to be more the case. And like he still makes really fundamental mistakes, just like basic footwork and things like that. If he mixed things up, maybe, right? Like he'd have a better chance. I don't think getting into a striking matchup is to his benefit, even if that is the thing he ostensibly does the best, because I think Khalil is much more technical, probably faster, hits harder, and is good enough to take a shot or two from him and not fall over and die. So I think Khalil Rountree is going to have a hell of a night on Saturday. I have him by second round KO.
Yeah, I'm with Roundtree as well. I don't know if I'm as confident as you are, but I think you rightfully are a little nervous about your confidence because Jamahal.
Because like I'm so confident in it that I must just be wrong.
Yeah, Jamahal is such a hitter. Roundtree can take a ton of punishment, so I just kind of wonder what this is going to look like. If again, not to beat a dead horse, but Jamahal Hill just wants to do an outside kickboxing match. He's gonna get lit up like a Christmas tree in this fight.
Dude, his foot's gonna get chopped off of his body.
Yeah, his leg. Yeah, the bottom of his leg. By the way, man has had some knee injuries and some Achilles injuries in the past, and Khalil Rountree is like not the dude you want to be fighting when you've dealt with leg injuries. Yeah, so this could be rough. But again, maybe Jamahal Hill comes out super aggressive, gets inside, gets into a clinch position, and can land a big thunderous shot from the inside. But pick his Khalil Rountree. I think he gets it done. I'll say round 3. A combination of just brutal kicks to the legs and body, and then eventually it just turns into Hill falling to the ground and getting punched a few times before the referee steps in. But again, wouldn't shock me if Jamahal Hill went in there and looked like Mike Tyson, got inside and did some real damage. Great fight. Co-main event. Oh my God, dude. I love this fight so much. After talking to both of these guys this week, Rafael Fiziev on a 3-fight losing streak. It's a weird one because it's the Mateusz Gamrot sandwich with Justin Gaethje bread, because the two Gaethje fights were literally identical, where Fiziev looked great in the first round and then lost the decision. And the Gamrot fight was the injury fight that kept him out of action for 18 months. But he's fighting Ignacio Bahamondes right now, who is on a 3-fight win streak, stopped all 3 of his opponents, just beat Jalen Turner with a first-round finish right at the halfway point of round 1, retires Jalen Turner, and now gets the big step up. And Jed, as you know in this division, when a guy like Ignacio Bahamondes comes around and he starts finishing guys and starts to show how good he is, you're not going to find a lot of ranked guys who are willing to say yes to fight him. But luckily, he's got a guy like Rafael Fiziev in this division who's like, yeah, man, bring it on. I will fight this dude. And not to mention, hometown fight for Rafael Fiziev. So talk about your excitement levels for this card and what you're expecting from Fiziev versus Bahamondes.
This fight's awesome. Fiziev is a dude I thought for a long time was just going to be the dark horse, like the guy no one really is like considering too much, but sneaks in there and wins the lightweight belt because his skill set was like really well positioned. And then Justin Gaethje was just like, nah, never mind. I'm still here. Honestly, like as great as I guess Justin Gaethje is one of my favorite fighters who's ever lived, and I absolutely love watching him compete. His wins over Fiziev are just like the most impressive to me because that's just him being like, I know I can F around and be just the most exciting fighter who's literally walked the earth, but I also am damn good at this because Fiziev should have beaten him. Like on paper, he should win those fights and just did not succeed in doing that. And so Fiziev's probably not really in that dark horse candidate anymore. And so now he can just be like pure high octane, awesome, fun lightweight. And this is a ripper because Bahamondes is now my guy, Mike. Like I was the biggest Jalen Turner proponent because Jalen Turner was a big, kind of goofy, offensively gifted fighter, right? Like an enormous lightweight whose game not all that defensively responsible, sick, cool, weird offense. Bahamondes is the same, and then they fought, and Bahamondes retired him, and so he absorbed the Jalen Turner essence, and in so doing, became my boy. He is my also my lightweight boy. And so I am pumped to see this fight. Also, the optics are going to be incredible. Fiziev's like 5'7", and freaking Bahamondes is 6'4" or something outrageous like that. He's going to be a full foot taller than him. At their face-off, it's like a man is not in the same weight class as you, Fiziev. It's going to be a ripper. Like I'm really excited to see the clinch. Bahamondes is so much bigger than Fiziev, but Fiziev has been an exceptionally gifted clinch fighter. Like just sturdy as a house in that shit. This fight, like this is the main event should be fun and I like it. The co-main event, like this is why I'm an MMA fan, is for stuff like this.
This could be on the fight of the year list when it's done.
Absolutely.
Like there's a very real possibility.
5 rounds.
I do too. That's like the one thing I've been thinking about all week is like, man, this could have been just an absolute banger of a 5-rounder. And what a context, a difference in styles between the face-offs between the main event and the co-main event. Because you got Jamahal Hill saying he's going to kill Khalil Rountree, and Rountree just being stoic and kind of laughing in Jamal's face. And then Fiziev and Bahamondes lock eyes with each other, and they start smiling at each other, and they're just like, I can't wait to fight you. Oh, yeah? Well, I can't wait to fight you more. Oh, yeah? Well, I can't wait to fight you more than more. And it's just like such admiration and respect, but just an excitement to just put hands and feet on each other. Like that face-off legitimately got me so much more fired up for this fight. And I didn't even think that was possible, but just their excitement levels to like beat the shit out of each other just made me want to see it more. And I can't freaking wait for it. Before we go to prediction, are you surprised Bahamondes is the favorite here?
No, I'm picking him. And not just because he is now my son. The physical disparity here is enormous, and he's just like super offensively talented, and that's like gonna be a problem for Fiziev because Fiziev is defensively responsible, like pretty good, but basically Gaethje jabbed him, like was like, oh, here's a jab, and Fiziev had a lot of trouble with a jab and a dude who could hit him real hard, and Bahamondes not like the best jab in the world, but he's just got enough offensive weapons and the physical advantages here to, I mean, Fiziev is really going to have to fight smart. And if he's had a weakness, he has not always fought the smartest fights, right? Like fight IQ is not necessarily a strength of his. But Mike, I want to add on. I'm so excited. Like I'm not working tomorrow. I'm off tomorrow. I'm at a friend's lake house. We've got a celebration for one of our buddies turning 40. I will be on a boat tomorrow. And yet, when it comes co-main event time, I don't care what I'm doing. I don't care how many mimosas I've had, how many whiskeys. I don't care if I'm swimming. I'll have an alarm set on my watch and be like, oh, gotta hop on, load up ESPN Plus on my phone because I got to spend the next 15 minutes watching these two dudes go at it because it's gonna be insane. Legitimately, one of the fights I'm most excited about currently on the schedule.
My one bet on this card is Rafael Fiziev. I got him at plus 115. Again, like I think this is a coin flip. Like this, I understand the size discrepancy and all that, but Fiziev's just been in there with better guys. And I know that, and that to me is just the difference maker. Like, I don't think he's falling off at all. Like, yes, he's on a 3-fight losing streak, but there are people who thought he won the first Gaethje fight. I'm certainly not one of them, but there are people.
But it was certainly competitive.
Yeah, he was competitive in the first fight on a full camp. The Gamrot fight, I really wish we could just run that one back. Just rewind time and go through that.
But
it was so good. Like that
got booked instead.
Yeah, that first fight rocked. That first round was incredible until the unfortunate end. And And Fiziev looked good against Gaethje in the second fight. He took this fight on like 9 days' notice, and he still was competitive with Justin Gaethje. Clearly lost. His experience, and I just think his overall skill set is going to be enough to will him through this fight. And yeah, it's 29-28, super close, super competitive fight. And it's one where this is going to be like, oh, wow. The betting lines just jumped up a whole bunch on FanDuel. Bahamondes is now minus 142. Fiziev just jumped up to plus 116. That jumped up real quick. Maybe it's just because I picked Fiziev. They're like, oh, let's just jump on Bahamondes immediately on FanDuel. But that was, I don't, it's very rare that I see a jump like that live as I'm looking at it. But Fiziev 29-28. And I think we'll look at Bahamondes the way we looked at Fiziev after he fought Gaethje the first time. We're like, all right, this dude belongs in these rankings. He belongs as a guy to keep an eye on. He's just not there quite yet, but he could be. And I think experience is going to be the big factor here. So you'd be Fiziev in a close fight of the night, fight of the year contender. We also got Curtis Blades and Rizvan Kudiev. We have my second favorite fight on the card.
My large lightweight son like that. My large lightweight son will be victorious. All hail Bahamondes.
Well, we got more lightweights, Jed. Miktabek Oralbai versus Tofik Musayev. I know Casey's very excited about that. Everyone should be excited for that fight.
Absolutely.
So good. Nazim Sadikov versus Nicholas Mota. Another ripper. That's going to be very fun for as long as it lasts. And as you said, Mohamed Naimov versus Bogdan Grad also will be very fun.
Ludicrous. The fight is going to be, it's one of those, meaningless because neither guy, although Naimov's on like a 4-1 run, like continues to exceed expectations or whatever. That fight is going to be, because the way both men fight is just like, I've fuck my feelings and fuck my defense. I don't care about it all. It's going to be outlandish.
It's a terrific main card opener. Featured prelim Oban Elliott versus Seokyeon Ko. Jun Young Park is back against Ismail Nardiev. We got a couple of women's battles. Arina Alexieva versus Claudia Segula. And Melissa Mullins versus Daria Zelznikova. And Tagir
Mullins, Zelznikova 2. This is a rematch, Mike. Don't forget.
That's right. That is correct.
I think it was Aries 9 they first fought. And Melissa Mullins won. The only reason I knew this off the top of my head is this was back in the dark ages of our women's bantamweight rankings, and I ranked Melissa Mullins purely off that because there was no one else to put there. So I was like, this fight's coming up. The winner of this is getting slot 15, and she did.
I feel like by 2026, 4 out of 5 women's bantamweight fights will be rematches. It just has to be that way because there's only 18 of them. So, Ulanbekov Maxim's a great fight. And then
matchup is a matchup of women who lost to Melissa Mullins in the UFC. So it's just like, we're just spinning our wheels at the same 12 people.
Yep. And then, as you mentioned, the main card opener, heavyweight overs are alive. It may not be the most electric bet in MMA anymore, but once this fight takes place, but Hamdi and Mo Usman they're going to fisticuff for 15 minutes without question.
They're going to do something. I'm a huge fan. Again, like we used to get this a lot with Joe Silva. Sometimes I feel like Joe Silva just makes a call and is like, hey, Sean, like you're doing all the matchmaking, but here's what you could do. You could take Rizvan Kudiev, the guy who got run out of PFL because he failed for literally all the steroids, just all of them. And you could put him on the same card as Hamdi Abdel Wahab, the guy who got a 2-year sussy for all the performance enhancers. Put him on the same card. It'll be fun. Like it's terrific. I love that. I love that this is happening.
Yes, let's headline UFC Atlanta with Kamaru, and then we'll open up. We'll have back-to-back fights featuring Usmans for the UFC. How about that? I mean, it's just brotherly love.
Perfect.
Brotherly love. With that said, let's bring in Casey Leydon. And let's bring in the peeps. Casey's here. No sleeves.
Hi.
How you feeling, pal?
A little bit of mercy.
Feeling like butt. But I'm here. We're good.
It's good to have you here.
Yeah, thank you. All right. But the questions. Wait a minute. Hey, where are you?
Welcome to the show, dapperly dressed gentleman in matching bathing suit and bathing suit shirt.
They're all about to go out on the boat, and I was like, I can't boat, guys. UFC Baku. We must discuss.
All right. Super chat from Left Lane.
What do you make of the recent few UFC signings? So the only one we have officially confirmed. Let me just pull this up real quick. Anti-Delija, we can absolutely confirm. Our own Guillermo Cruz got that done. First to report that.
I guess Pico's official now.
Pico is
Pico, I
official.
mean, Pico was official a
but-
while ago.
Well,
Yeah,
the
but
matchup,
we-
I guess. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, the matchup is official, but
Did I miss
Robert
something? What?
Rucala and Jacob Wicklats have been signed, or at least reportedly signed.
I don't know
Shamrock
other those people.
from Octagon has essentially confirmed his signing all over the place. Delija, and there's other reports that have come out that, let me pull this up real quick. Jackson McVeigh from LFA is reportedly signed to fight. How is Cedric Dumas still in the UFC? How is this possible? Well, apparently Cedric Dumas is fighting Jackson McVeigh next weekend at UFC 317, according to reports. So, yeah, of all those signings, Jed, any of them stand out to you?
I mean, we're not counting Aaron Pico, so the only one I know is
Pico's been signed for a
Antidelia.
while.
Yeah, the only fighter of that group that I know is Antidelia. It was like that's good. He happy to have him in the UFC. He's not going to make a run. He might crack a ranking, right? Like he won one of the PFL seasons, but I don't remember which one. 2022 maybe. Like a reasonably well-rounded, solid enough heavyweight. Like a guy who, if you are ostensibly the best promotion in the world with all the top talent, that's the sort of guy you should bring on if you have an opportunity because he is one of the 20 best heavyweights alive. So, but it's also heavyweight, man. Like, if you're not one of the 5 best heavyweights, it's hard to get up and be excited. So, but I don't know the others. I do not know them at all.
Casey, you familiar with any of these gentlemen?
No. I've heard. Yeah. How do you say Ante Delija?
I don't honestly know. I think I remember PFL calling him Antidelia, but I would
Antidelia,
not
yeah.
be confident in that at all.
Well, I guess we'll find out when Rogan tells us during the weigh-ins at some point. I'll go by that.
I'm gonna wait till John.
We'll wait for John Hannon. We'll wait for John.
Won't be using the Rogan pronunciation.
I like McVeigh a lot. He's greenish. He's green as grass, though. So he's 26, but like, I mean, he's an absolute wrecking ball. He's a big finisher, and I expect he will lay waste to Cedric Dumas next Saturday. So I think there's a reason they're throwing him on this card. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I've heard of Shamrock. I've seen some clips of fights from Octagon. I've seen some of the KSW guys that we mentioned, but I haven't like dove deep on a lot of them. But yeah, I mean, after seeing these, and these are like outside of the McVeigh one, these seems to be like straight signings. I assume there'll be a bunch of cuts coming because of this, because they don't just sign a bunch of dudes off the street for no reason. So I expect the roster watch accounts to go pretty wild over the next couple of weeks.
When's the season of Contender Series starting? Is that pretty soon?
August.
I'll say
usually it's August.
Okay, so I can expect some cuts then. Yeah. Right before
we're coming up on cut season.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So. Cut season's coming.
Cut season, it's the exact opposite of like bulking and cutting season. If you're, trying to get beach bod, it's like, oh, you actually start cutting in the fall because that's when Contender Series is bringing in 50 new people.
Yep.
All right. Thank you, Left Lane. Thank you for the super chat. All right.
Wow. Rajao. Guys, I ran my phone over with the cattle trailer and it's working fine. No crack, no nothing. Jed, I need your lock because I got luck on my side this weekend, apparently. Wow, what a story. What's
But
the lock outside of over 1.5 with Usman and Hamdi?
I need to know what kind of case you got. Like, are you rocking an iPhone? Is it in a case? Is it an OtterBox? Because like you should be telling whoever is encasing your phone, like, hey, put me on a commercial to show the validity of your product because uh, that's incredibly impressive and that would be dope because that's like my nightmare is to do something like that and then suddenly have to buy a new $1,000 phone. Uh, my lock of the week. So I am on Bahamondes and I'm on Roundtree. I would not consider either of those locks. I'm also a Mictebek Oral buy. Casey, I'm so sorry to do that to you
How dare
and
you?
Tafik.
How dare you?
I know that's a shame. I have an underdog pick on Bogdan Grad, even though I think I'm just going to pick Naimov to win. Uh, the like I wouldn't call anything a lock. There's a reason we're not doing a climb this week, right? I would say the most likely outcome to me is like Melissa Mullins. She beat Zeleznyakova like 2 years ago and finished her in the first round. Now I haven't been able to see that fight. Cannot find it anywhere. I went a long time looking. But like she had a first round TKO. Also, I have watched both of them fight, and Mullins can take people down, and Zeleznyakova is not very good if she is not standing on her feet. She's not great on her feet either. Like she's not like, oh my god, she is going to kill me before striking. But she is really not very good if she's taken down. And so like I do think that the Mullins price is wrong. Like it should just be higher. But for the fact that like this is women's bantamweight with fighters who have like less than 15 fights, you should never feel massively confident anyway. But like if I had to pick one to climb this weekend, it would be the over 1.5 in Hamdi Usman. Let me see if that price is up here. Where can I find that price? Hold on. See if it moved any from earlier this week. The Hamdi Usman over 1.5 is minus 460. That's at an offshore. But like if I had to pick one, that would be it. But if I had to pick something a little more generally accessible, I'd probably back Melissa Mullins. It's just all the signs point to her winning again.
Yeah, there's definitely more like overvalue there from a betting perspective. Like, I think Obad Elliott's gonna win, but
Yeah.
minus
Oh,
500 just
dude, he's
seems
way too
real
big a
steep.
price. I am honestly considering a spot on Sokyun Co. Like that's way too
Yeah,
big a price.
Do you think?
yeah, I didn't expect minus 500.
What about Sidikov? Do you think he's a lock over Mota?
I also think that price is really big. I do think he's going to win, but I don't really want to pay like a minus 450 price on Sadikov. I'd be more open to that than on the Open Elliott, but I would not. Moto's like crafty and fun, you
He's been
know.
sneaky good lately too.
I feel
He's
like
had tough fights and he's winning them.
yeah. It's a big price, and so like I honestly, he and the Open Elliott, like they're in the same bucket of like, eh. Also, straight up, like this would be a little outrageous. It's hard for me to think that Curtis Blades doesn't Curtis Blades Rizvan Kuniev. Like Kuniev isn't like a huge one hitter quitter, and that's the guys that Curtis has struggled with, guys who can just turn his lights out. It's not really what Rizvan does, so kind of just assume Curtis is going to Curtis all over him for 15 minutes.
Wonder what the over 1.5 is in that fight.
Hold on, I'll tell you. Over 1.5 is minus 205, but that is not available at any onshore book right now. The over 2.5 is plus money right at the minus one or plus 100 spot.
Dude, minus 205 for over 1.5. That's not
It's
bad.
not a bad price.
It's actually not bad at all.
This week was weird because there were like fighters that I just like. I have a bet on Curtis Blades. I also have a bet on Curtis Blades by decision. Because there were just a couple of fighters like you should probably be priced higher, but I'm not so confident that I want to climb with Curtis Blades. You know?
Yeah. All right.
Alrighty. Yeah, we didn't even talk about that. Are we just not talking about that matchup? The Blades matchup. It's heavyweight, whatever. Just that's.
I mean, it's
He's
the
is he a
thing
top
is, it's like
a
it's
top five
incredibly
heavyweight?
relevant, but it's also super weird.
Top five. Blade's the top five, right?
I
No.
think he's currently in the UFC's top five, but I could
Yeah.
check the UFC's rankings this moment.
It's just wild
Curtis Blades
against.
is number 5. So, yes, because John Jones is champion, but also John Jones doesn't count. So,
Yeah.
top 5 for Curtis Blades.
And his opponent was he's a top 30, 40.
Oh, he's definitely top 30. He beat Renan Fajeda in PFL.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Well,
it got overturned because he took again.
everything.
I honestly think it was 5. I think it was 5 like steroids, not like elevated estrogen because he probably was using a masking agent. Like they all ended in own. No, like
Yeah.
it was steroids.
Like full on, like every
Yeah.
one of them.
It's like actual fucking steroids, which is still my favorite thing when I was watching Contender Series. Like, how do I know the name Rizvan Kuniev? I'm doing our like recap for it. Where I was like, how do I know this? And I looked up, I was like, oh, that's, I know. He didn't even fight after them. They just signed him straight from PFL. It's unreal.
So yeah, so he took all the juice and he only got a 1 year suspension. Okay, I
He
get. I'm
tested
assuming.
positive for the anabolic steroids drostanolone, metenolone, boldenone, and 19-nordosterone.
Jeez.
I probably butchered that. That's 4 anabolics that he tested positive for. And the UFC was just like, cool, you can come on Contender
Into
Series
the series, yeah.
immediately after that. That was the most recent fight was his PFL before Contender Series. It's awesome.
Yeah, actually, I was expecting it to be a few fights ago. I was like, oh no, it was just
Nope.
there. It is.
It was the sussy, and then sure, come on. We're done with USADA. It's fine, buddy.
Thank you, Rosario. Super chat here from RJ.
Mike watched you on SR yesterday. So Sean Sheen is insane. Can we see him against Jed on BTL? Just imagine
What
the
Sean
heat of
do?
the takes.
I haven't got a chance to catch up because I love SR. I haven't gotten to watch yet. What Sean do that was insane?
I didn't remember anything being like insane. I mean, the lines he towed were Ilia Topuria is going to kill Charles Oliveira, but that's mostly because he feels like
that's just like most people's assumption. Though I think that might be wrong.
Islam's going to wreck JDM.
Sure.
Like not competitive at all, not even close.
That's a little hotter.
Not competitive.
That's not a scalding hot take, but that is definitely warmer than Ilia will knock out Charles.
I mean, there wasn't anything like crazy. We talked about Aaron Pico a little bit. We disagreed on like one thing because I defended Aaron Pico versus Movsar Evloev. I continue, and for the same reason I defended the first report of it, was that Pico's not going to be patchy mix heading into this fight. He's not going to go in there and be like, Movsar, you're a journeyman, you suck. I'm looking through you. I'm already looking at the belt. Like Aaron Pico has been he seems like he's been media trained since he was before he was a fucking teenager. Like his parents made him, you could tell they made him
been actual media trained.
Yeah, you could tell Aaron Pico had like a practice press conference room in his house somewhere and started doing them at 12 and would get asked questions and just be like, yeah, I respect him. He's great. Can't wait to do it for the fans. We love the fans. Like Aaron Pico is, and Sean said this on the show and he's not wrong. Aaron Pico is one of the most boring interviews in MMA, but that's just because he's just so respectful. Like, and so people consider it boring. He will say, but everyone who's watched him fight know he's incredibly fun and exciting. So because of how Aaron Pico will present himself in the build to this fight, he will put Movsar over as a killer. I'm going to win, but it's not because this guy stinks like Patchy Mix did in the build to the Mario Batista fight. So if he loses, like, I think he'll get more grace than Patchy Mix did. Because I think what really hurt Patchy was, one, there's a quarter of the fan base knows nothing about Bellator or PFL, and they had no idea who Patchy Mix was. They just heard their friends who watched the sport longer say, wait till you see this guy fight. He's awesome. And then it was a lopsided, like uncompetitive loss. And they're like, see, PFL sucks. Bellator sucks. And I don't think Aaron Pico, if he loses to Movzar, which I think he's going to lose to Movzar, it's not going to hurt him the same way this loss hurts Patchy Mix. And Sean disagreed. He thinks the whole fan base will destroy him. And I don't think that's the case. I think Patchy's road back is an incredibly long one. If he gets to a title fight, he's going to have to win I don't think he's ever fighting for a belt. I've put it in print and I've said it into a live microphone. But if he does, he's going to have to win 10 fights in a row. Pico, if he loses to Movzar, I don't think he's out of it at all. He could just bounce back, get a couple of knockouts, and he's right back in the conversation. So I think that was the one thing we somewhat disagreed on. But yeah, I don't remember Sean saying anything
he's just a boring interview. That was his big take.
No, his big take was if Aaron Pico loses to Movzar, everyone will turn on him and say he sucks because he came from PFL and Bellator.
That's every fight. Every fight. We've done this a million. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they win the next fight.
Right.
And here we are.
And yeah, my argument was a loss won't hurt him as much as Patchy's loss hurt. One, because it's Mario Batista. Two, because Patchy Mix talked Jamal Hill level types of shit in the build to this fight. And Pico's not going to do that. And plus he's only 26 and Patchy is not 26. So that makes his road back even better.
Two things. Casey, can you pull up RJ's most recent comment so Mike can comment on this? Because I don't know if this is true or not.
Oh, yes. Okay. JDM not one of the 10 best welterweights. That was
so wild. That's outrageous. If he said that,
that was a pretty wild take.
That is flaming hot sun bolts of outrage of take.
Yeah,
that is.
I mean, luckily, I think I just laughed at that.
Out of Bilal Muhammad.
But Dennis was Dennis is so offended by that I didn't even have to say anything. Dennis just I just sat back and let Dennis kind of tackle that one, but. Yeah, that was a wild one. I forgot about that.
They're all opinions, and so it's hard to say something like this, but that's almost just objectively not true. He just put the wood to Bilal, who was the champ. That's a take.
It was strong in the late rounds. It was just it was a solid fight. Jesus, man.
We've never seen him lose since his debut fights. That is a take.
I mean, I don't agree with him, but I actually respect it because I didn't think I didn't think he had that kind of take in him.
But I respect it.
Yeah. I didn't see anybody having that kind of take in him.
So what was? Oh man, I don't want. All right, I want to move on. But thank you, RJ. Yeah, that was. Anything else weird?
I wanted to reference was Big Onk MMA has a comment about Curtis Blades I'd like to address.
Blades.
What does it say?
It says Curtis is so chinny, won't surprise me if Kuniev wins. This is just not true.
Yeah.
Yes, he's been knocked out, but if your definition of chinny is Tom Aspinall, Francis Ngannou, Derek Lewis, and Sergey Pavlovich, literally every human being other than prime Mark Hunt is chinny because those dudes, if they land like they landed, they're gonna get you. That's just.
And Mark,
he doesn't have a goat chin, right? That's 100%. He does not have that. But if he did, almost certainly champion. He has, I wouldn't even say he has a great chin. I'm sure his chin is average, but come on, we can't call him chinny because Francis buried him. It's Francis. That's also ludicrous to be oh, he got knocked out by Sergey Pavlovich. Weak sauce. Come on, bro.
You got knocked out by the guy who has the most knockouts in UFC history.
Oh, the guy who could drive a golf ball 350 yards?
Yeah.
Come on.
That's real dude bro energy. I'm just oh bro, come on.
Yeah,
That
everyone's
on like just to reference like on if Kuniev just like colds Curtis Blades, that would
Then I'm
legit be
open
one
to
of the
it.
most surprising things that happen on this entire card. I would
Yeah,
be
and
stunned.
if he does, I'll come and I'll eat crow. I'll be like, hey, Big
Yeah.
Onk, you know what? Maybe Curtis is a little chinny. Maybe, but like Curtis has also fought good dudes and not gotten knocked out. So like, Jairzinho Rosenstrike's got a bunch of KOs. Curtis was fine. Volkov, Junior Dos Santos.
Overeem.
What a coward. He fought Junior Dos Santos and didn't get knocked out. I don't think he's chinny. I think some dudes just hit unreal hard.
it would be wild if Kuniev wins. That'd be one of the biggest rankings jumps we've seen in a good while.
Legitimately, it would certainly be the biggest since O'Malley beat Jan because O'Malley went from like 15 on ours or
To
maybe
like
even unranked to 2
2 or 3.
or whatever it was. This would be something similar.
Yep.
I had Jan winning the fight, so I didn't rank him out yet.
Yeah.
So.
Most people.
All right, Big Onk. Thank you very much. What else we got here? Okay, it's got that one. Super chat from Slito.
Speaking of Pavlich, how about that WCA fight?
Did we confirm that? I don't know if we've
Yeah.
confirmed or not. We did?
We sure did. We did.
I think it's good matchmaking.
Yeah, it's fine.
Right? Like, look, nobody's excited about Waldo Cortez Acosta, but like he's earned his crack at a top 5 dude. Tom is, I guess, gonna fight Cyril Gahn. Like that seems like where the energy is moving, but maybe hopefully not. I don't know what Volkov's doing, so it's like he's either was getting Volkov or Pavlovich, or I guess Curtis Blades after this weekend, but Blades currently booked, so I think the fight makes sense.
Sure.
And look, if he wins, it'll probably be a WCA sort of win, and we won't be pumped about it. But he'll legitimately be like a real, honest to God title challenger.
Dude, I don't care. You beat Pavlovich anyway. That's freaking
That's
good.
right.
Tough,
And he's
dude.
on like a 6-fight win streak
Yeah.
or whatever. He beats Pavlovich, even if it doesn't get the hair on your arm standing up. That man still deserves a title fight. So,
dude, and why? And when we confirmed this, I talked about this on the submission radio thing. I thought like we're giving them like legit breaking news. Turns out that we weren't first on that. So, but at the end of the day, what have we been wanting from a Sergey Pavlovich fight for the last like 5 years? Someone who's going to try to tackle him. And Waldo Cortez Acosta, by God, by cracky, is going to try to tackle Sergey Pavlovich in this fight. And he will tackle him. And I'm curious to see how Sergey reacts to this. I think WCA has a very good chance of winning this fight. It won't be the most thrilling one, but I think he has a very good chance to win.
I have to pick Pavlovich. I want to see Pavlovich kill somebody again because it's really fun when Pavlovich is just killing people. He's not the best heavyweight who's ever lived, but it's really fun when he just dim mocks somebody. And it's been a minute since we've seen him do it.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you much. Dang it. Oops, I lost that last comment. We talked about I lost the comment. I lost it in the shuffle. But Forrest Daniels asked about Roundtree's new shorts. Does he deserve custom shorts?
Mike, I have a hot take on this. I personally think maybe all fighters should get custom shorts. Maybe they could just come up with their own shorts and then that could help them establish their own identities. Fans could more actively gravitate towards them. Could probably build stars because like maybe somebody just has really dope shorts, right? Like maybe I'm spitballing all white shorts with like a black belt that looks like it's like a BJJ black belt because you're a world champion grappler. Or maybe you've got like some flames coming up the side of your shorts or an Iceman motif. There are a lot of opportunities and it'd just be cool if everybody could be an individual and not be this cookie cutter thing. And so like on the merits of this question, no, Khalil Rountree doesn't deserve them. Like he's probably the worst of the fighters who've gotten custom shorts. All fighters should get custom shorts because it's cool.
Yeah, they should do more of it. Jamal Hill should probably have custom shorts too, if we're being honest.
I
Let them
do.
both do
I
it.
am curious about
That's
like
the
how
weird
that
part.
works. Why they're just like,
Yeah,
hey,
that was the thing that threw me off was how is Khalil getting them, but Jamal
non-champion
isn't.
Khalil, do you want these? Like, I could maybe get it if he was like Azerbaijani, and it's like, okay, you're gonna come out with some Azerbaijani themed shorts, but it's like that's just weird. And I guess maybe Jamal Hill just turned it down, like like maybe he had a chance and said, no, I
I
don't
wonder if he
want
got
to.
asked about it.
I don't know, but
But
it is
Jamal Hill,
really weird
like,
for it to be one-sided.
yeah, Jamal should have gotten him too. So could have been like a Michigan style, which would have been badass. Like, and I respect, like, I like the design. Like, it's they're, I think they're cool as hell. At first, when I saw the photo, I was like, oh, it's a black and white image. Like, what do they really look like? They're going to make me click on the website to see what they actually look like. And then I looked, I'm like, oh no, that's what they actually look like. And then hearing Khalil sort of describe
Talk about it. It's great.
everything was really cool. Like, it's Vegas theme, but it's not the Vegas that you think of when you first think of Vegas. It's like the outskirts and the mountains and the land and
If you actually live
all
in
that
Vegas,
fun stuff.
not just a tourist.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But
Custom
Hill
shorts,
shoulda got
custom
it.
shirt. I want to see the whole camps come in, like the whole outfits. I want to see that whole gimmick, man. It's yeah, uniforms effing suck. Still annoyed. Never not annoys me.
The uniforms are the thing that is probably like the least like significantly impactful, right? Like I do think it's impactful, but it is
I think
not nearly as important to the sport as like the UFC having a monopoly on shit or restrictive comp. But like it is the
kind of
one that
it's
bothers
kind
me
of
the
all the
most.
same. Yeah.
It just bothers me the most because all the time I'm like, man, this is it, we used to have great things. And like, yes, there were also a bunch of people who had random board shorts with Condom Depot written on the ass. And
So
like, I mean that, yeah, that
aren't there
the
ED
point not being
pills?
that that's bad, Casey. The point
Oh,
being that that's like generic and not interesting either. But like, everybody at least had an opportunity to be interesting, and that is cool, right? Like, the UFC doing this is just so. It was always so bad, and it still is just like it's just terrible. But nobody cares enough because it's a low value prop here, but it is one that is
what the fact that fans
really
don't even
popular.
remember now? Fans, we have this new generation of
Most
fans.
fans don't
They
have an
have
idea.
no clue that fighters could go to they could go to Walmart before their fights and buy shorts and keep the tag on them.
Who fought not the thong? Just like rocked
Dennis
up in
Hallman.
thong.
Dennis
Dennis
Hallman.
Hallman.
Yep.
That's right. And like, sure, we should probably draw limits around that.
Okay.
And like, but that's the thing. Like, their whole excuse was garbage when they instituted the
Oh,
uniform. Anyway, it's like, we wanted to look professional. It's like you could just enforce rules about like codify rules about like what is and isn't allowed versus creating a uniform. Like that's a really easy thing to do. But you can't personally monetize the uniform, which is why they didn't, and that sucks.
don't want to look like NASCAR. Yeah. Have you looked at the
We need more
cameras?
Brian Ebersols in the
I got
world
it,
who just like shave their chest hair into like designs and
buddy.
like do
You're
that
thinking
shit.
too small. We need more KSW acolytes. Get
Yeah.
a temp tattoo of some shit all across your back. That's your
Yep.
rules. But also, like the we don't want to look like NASCAR is like a ludicrous thing in general because, like, one,
You do look like
all
that.
pro sports teams like do Premier League teams play in clean jerseys? No, they've got like Emirates written across because that's their primary sponsor. I gotta tell you, I don't think F1 is hurting an image because they have ads all over the car. Like this is just so dumb, man. I hate it so
There's
much.
ads all over the friggin' octagon. Like literally every inch of
That's
it is covered.
and more to that point, Mike, those ads are actually in position because people freaking slip on them all the time.
Yes, and people pay thousands of dollars. Fans pay thousands of dollars to
Get their
have their
name on it.
names
Oh,
on them.
people
To
are
have their
incredible.
names on it. This is absolutely nuts.
Oh, I've had so
Next.
many friends come over who don't watch fights, and they're like they just after like 3 fights are like, I don't know what it's just the same. Even when they put the side by sides, they're wearing the same clothes, like the whole tell of the tape. They're wearing the same thing. It's like, what? Are they on the same team here? It's just, God. Ugh. All right, moving on. Lazy Bear super chat.
Tablet Lima opening the main card of UFC 317. Really? No. that really true?
I mean, it's at the bottom of Tapology, but I don't know if that's official.
I mean, that's a ripper of a fight, so that'd be cool. Also, it would make sense. Like they want to give Peyton Talbot a push.
But he's gonna probably lose this fight.
You think he's gonna lose to I think that fight's gonna be really competitive. I love me some Felipe Lima, but
yep,
I think
sure is. So right now the UFC only has up on their website they have the main card set, which does include Talbot Lima, only 2 middle prelims and 1 early prelim.
Are you looking at UFC.com?
Correct.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm just looking to see, because usually on the UFC.com website, like you could see how they stack everything. Yeah. But
Tapology has 11 fights. So
yeah, there's others that like the
I mean, looking at this card, fight. I would guess that is the main card opener. Like,
yeah,
you're just not going to open the main card with Jack Hermanson, Gregory Rodriguez. I think that makes sense. As
Nico Price, Jacoby Smith isn't up there yet. I don't think the Hyder Emil fight is up yet.
317 is pretty solid.
Terrence McKinney's Slava Claus isn't up there yet.
It's going to be a terrific 74 seconds of fighting.
The under 1.5, slam it home, or the under 2.5. That'll be. Is that the climb next week, Jed? Are we giving it away?
Honestly, I doubt the price is going to even be. I doubt that price will be viable. Like, we'll find out, but I doubt the price is up.
All right. Super chat just came in. More Sean Sheenan talk.
Oh, that's Ed Sheeran.
Said JDM isn't even top 10 at welterweight, and Islam should be a minus 10,000. Yes, he did say that as well.
Minus 10,000 is really, really.
What are you like? Minus 10,000.
Really big.
Do you understand how
Stephen A. Smith type of minus 10,000 is? It's like a 99.99 some. Like it's some insane percentage like that. Like that's no. He should if he fought JDM 100 times, he's going to win 100 of them. Seems unlikely.
He did say if Islam fought Charles Oliveira 100 times, Islam would win that fight 100 times, which I actually don't fully disagree with.
I don't think he'd win 100. I do think he'd win a lot of them.
He'd win like 98 of them.
I think he's a uniquely terrible matchup for Charles. I said it before they fought the first time. But I mean, this isn't next week. I am genuinely interested in Charles Oliveira's upset potential next week. I think people are completely writing him off, and that is maybe you're right. I wouldn't feel nearly as confident as some people are being about that. Weight classes matter, and Topuria is not a big he was not a big featherweight. He wasn't a small one, but he wasn't like a big featherweight. Charles is not like the biggest lightweight because Ignacio Bahamondes lives, but he's a big fella, and he's a dude who can take a shot, and he doesn't die when he takes a shot, and then you've got to go to the ground. And I know Ilia Topuria can grapple quite well. Still just that's dangerous. And again, I know that this was a million years ago, very different circumstances. Weight classes matter. And if Jai Herbert can put your ass on skates, Charles Oliveira can fucking kill you. He is a huge underdog, and maybe that'll pay out, but now that it is happening and I no longer have to defend this was always the fight I wanted for Ilia anyway, because it is the most interesting one to me. Yes, the Islam fight is interesting. It's less interesting because I think Islam runs his ass over until Ilia proves actually I can be a top 5 lightweight, and then I'd be all steam ahead, great. But this is I am fascinated in every facet of next week's main event.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good fight. Anything else?
Any
more super chats?
No more super chats. Let me see what else I got.
All right, we'll take the best one left, and then we'll get out of here.
I haven't eaten lunch, so I'd love that. I really like food.
Yeah, we'll get out of here. Hour and 10. I mean, I love UFC Baku, but
it was a great card, man.
Were there any GFL T-shirts made before it crashed
That's a really good question because I
would
didn't
love
buy
GFL
one.
swag.
I should have bought one.
Yeah. Yeah. There's got, yeah.
I would have absolutely bought some GFL swag if I had thought about it at all.
I'm so mad.
Genuinely, one of my biggest
Yeah.
regrets of all time in this sport is not buying a Gibbler UFC jersey. Like I should have bought a Gibbler jersey. Like I would cherish that for all of my days, and I didn't do it because I'm an idiot.
Hit the music, Casey. We're done. Speaking of cherishing for all our days, we cherish you, our wonderful audience, our viewers here at MMAfighting.com.
And beyond, even after my days, I still cherish you.
Yes, we will always
cherish you for my nights too.
Yes. As we talked about, UFC Baku early start time. So Casey and I live 11:30 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow morning. Get your coffee and your breakfast ready for the People's Pre-Fight Show, post-fight show after the fact. It's going to be a good time. Early day MMA. We get BKFC tonight. Andrei Arlovsky's fighting. Jessica Ai is making her BKFC debut as well. So lots going on, everybody. PFL tonight as well. So lots of mixed martial arting happening for all of you to enjoy. And if you can't watch it, stick with us. Yeah, stick with us at MMAfighting.com. We got you. For Casey, for Jed, I am Mike Heck. Appreciate you. Have a good day. See you tomorrow.
Love y'all. Love you so much.